Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Overwatch Weekly podcast. Well, it's not really weekly at the moment because I skipped about a week. But we're here in Adelaide at the end of the AOC CG finals. And of course, I'm joined with one of my co-casters, ZeNox, Polter, co-owner of MasterMinds. He's very happy he's got the trophy there. And Smeaves, the coach of the winning team here today. So I'll start off with you, Smeaves. How are you? How are you feeling?
Over the moon at the moment. Like, the boys played quite well. And we got, in my opinion, the results we deserved.
And Polter, clearly you're happy.
Yeah, mate. So happy we got the win. Definitely, we expected it. So happy it went that way.
What about the call? Well, first of all, ZeNox.
Don't worry about what I think. Okay. Yeah, no.
So we've done another cast here today. So is it your first time in Adelaide?
It's just my first time in Adelaide.
So what do you think about the experience so far?
No, it was a really good experience. Really good studio, a good bunch of guys, and it was good to see you in person again.
Was it really?
It was.
You're just saying that to be nice?
No, I'm just saying that to be nice.
Alright, that's what I thought. Alright. Okay, so what do you think about the new lineup that clearly performed today? Do you think this is the best lineup to date?
Definitely. It was always our end goal.
Yeah.
Like, we can't take anything away from people like Nectar and Soundwaves who helped us get here. So credit to them, but we're happy with who we are now. And now the hard work starts.
So now, you've always had that bit of a curse of having like being like the number 2 team, and like back in the summer series, everyone backed you to get up into ESL.
Yeah,
and then
which we probably could have if we had Kyle.
Yeah.
So I still hold
true,
that.
KS1 wasn't there. So and then ESL, we're missing some players there. So we're missing Cantus and then a few others as well.
We missed just Cantus, but we had Nectar and Soundwaves playing as well. So.
And clearly, you finally got the formula now to pick up the big win. And you can imagine the next power rankings in Genome.GG, you would be number 1 then.
You'd want to be.
You want to be, otherwise it'd be...
I'll speak to Murd if not, don't worry.
So what about the thoughts on the event, not just your team, Smeaves? How do you feel about how the event went?
Oh, like, the event in general I think was really good. Like, there were some really unexpected results, and like, there was definitely a lot of players that overperformed and over what you'd expect them, and then there was obviously some that kind of choked underneath this new pressure.
So Atletico is one of those teams. They came first originally in the league, and they only dropped a match, and that was to 4 legs, I believe. So you guys didn't even end up playing them today at all.
No.
So it's that one team because
they went out in straight sets. So.
Yeah. So how do you feel about like Atletico's performance then? Does that surprise you guys?
A little, but in the end of the day, I think that their main problem was to do with their drafting. Like, looking at their drafting did not seem... Their drafting just didn't seem optimal for them. They seemed a little haphazard, and they kind of let a few maps through that I really wouldn't have expected of them.
What about you, Polter?
I mean, it would have been good to play them. Just, we feel like we would have probably 2-0'd them as well. So it would have been good to see them in the grand final and sort of settle the score with everyone after ESL, definitely.
And of course, you, ZeNox.
You know, having casted actually all of the Atletico games today, looking at that first game against 4 legs, they only lost the last couple of seconds, really. It comes down to one fight sometimes. They could have easily made the upper bracket finals instead of having to play WillWeed. And, when they played WillWeed, I think the momentum of WillWeed just getting a little bit of taste of victory just really got them over the line. They really struggled when WillWeed started to, get a bit rowdy, started to yell a little bit, and that sort of affected them mentally. That's something they didn't have to deal with at ESL. And I guess from their position, a team that was at the top really coming into this, when you're starting to lose, it can be quite difficult to deal with that on the fly. But that's something now for them to leave after this event, to now improve, to dealing with the fact that, okay, they've lost, they were the number 1, how do they improve again to get back to where they were?
And one team that's definitely improved is WillWeed. How do you guys feel about their performance?
You can't take much away from them. Like, to come in from that 2-0 and that first match with us was, let's be honest, it was a stomp. It was a 25-minute bet, 2 maps.
That was very quick.
So it was very quick, and they come back and they fought bloody hard. But they kept the momentum up, so credit to them massively.
I didn't even have time to have lunch. I was originally on my lunch break. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm already like back, casting again. And I was like, oh sweet, I get to cast the first 2 games, so it was about a game. And then they definitely made up for it because that match against Atletico, that was definitely exciting. Will like didn't know what the fuck was going on. We're like, Jesus Christ.
We're looking at each other.
WillWeed will be out pretty quick. I think I was even saying that on the last podcast I did. WillWeed, they'll get one.
I mean,
back-to-back sets, and clearly I got proved wrong.
Well, we don't say it in a mean way. We say it from, I guess, an opinionated way. When you look at the sort of stats and you look at sort of the recent results, you have to say going into that, surely Atletico 3-0 WillWeed.
Yeah.
And obviously that wasn't the case. It was still a really close series, of course. Even then, it's not as if WillWeed completely stomped them. It was 3-2, could have gone either way. And for WillWeed, I think it was, as I said before, just that momentum, and Atletico just buckled.
We got the vibe that the other guys sort of really underestimated them.
Yeah.
Like Smeaves and Bangs, credit to both of them as well. They still put a lot of work into WillWeed as much as they did the other two teams.
Yeah.
And we feel like everyone else sort of discounted them and paid them off as the weaker team, but they're not that much weaker. So, and they proved that definitely.
What are your thoughts on them, Smeaves?
I think, like, you know, honestly, the hero for their team was Tails. Like, Tails bringing out that unexpected diva really kind of threw spanners in the works, and he very much overperformed where you'd expect him to on that character.
What about Frogger as a Lucio player? He's just aggressive, a little bit different than other Lucio players.
Yeah, he's definitely a wild card, and definitely the type of Lucio that will always be there to combo for the what was one of their favorite combos, which is the Boop Shatter.
Yeah.
And it's a part of their playstyle, in all honesty. His wildness both costs some fights and wins some fights, so that happens.
And then Four Legs, of course, they ended up coming back. They were 2 down against WillWeed. Everyone thought that WillWeed ended up going to take it out, and Four Legs came back, and they even got a map over you guys. That was the only map you've dropped all series here today.
In the grand final, yeah.
So how do you feel about your performance in the grand final?
We said it'd take 6, but it took 7, so we'll have a talk to the lads about that later. But it was good.
You know, honestly, like, Four Legs really, like, I want to give a lot of credit to Tom and Base, because there was a very stark difference between the last 2 maps against WillWeed in the first 3. They very much identified what they need to do, and that was to be really aggressive, not give WillWeed enough time to think, because they're, as a team, because they're kind of a bit spontaneous and have to kind of both react to their opponents and what each other are doing. Just giving them more time actually just played into them, whereas as soon as they switched onto that aggression, they really started hammering in on them.
I think that was one thing I actually pointed out a little bit, was that when Four Legs started to bring that aggressiveness back onto WillWeed, they couldn't deal with it.
Any other thoughts on he's wearing that? Come around here.
Come here, Will.
Come around here. He wanted to fucking gate crash me earlier. So this is Will, one of the new additions to MasterMinds.
Get in, mate. Sit down, mate.
So let's get his thoughts on the day. I had to show you shades to everyone else. So you got your medal and everything. Yeah. How do you feel about how the day went?
I feel great. Like, the first game was just like...
Okay, first of all, where the fuck did you get those? And are they did you buy them yourself?
I had to borrow $10 from this guy to fucking buy them.
To buy them? Yeah. That was worthy of borrowing money. Where the fuck did you find them?
Look at them, dude.
Yeah, where did you find them?
I found... There was just some store like next to the cafe in the mall.
And now that is forever going to be on the internet, and that's going to be flooding the Discords probably.
Yeah, so. There's already an emote made of when I gate crashed.
That's probably clipped. That would have been clipped a lot more if Frogger was.
He won't say it, but he was quite shaken up when you did that.
Well, I didn't know what the fuck you were doing.
Bobby lost it for a little bit.
I didn't know what you were doing. My natural reaction was to hit you. That was my natural reaction, and I was like, "Oh fuck, I can't really do that on the camera." But not like I really want to hit you anyway. But like, I was like, "What the fuck are you doing there?" I was like, "You fucking serious?" But in the end, it's all good, and you've pulled out a victory. So how do you feel about jumping from the S-Men? You've gone through a couple of different teams, and how do you feel about being on MasterMinds?
Yeah, it feels really good because every single player is like really just top tier, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and we just have great synergy. It's like good comms. I don't know. It's the dream for a team.
You live in the dream?
Dream team.
Do you live in the dream?
I'm living the dream.
You look like you live in the dream. You look like you're in a bit of a dream that's not here. Like you're a bit somewhere else. Like you've got something going on that you've had a bit of a puff of.
I'm just loving life right now.
You said yesterday in your interview that you changed your name to how you're...
How I currently resonate.
Is your next name going to be Glasses?
Yes.
Yes?
No, my next name is going to be Swag.
Swag.
What are you called? What?
Swag.
Swag. Just swag?
Yeah, just Swag.
Not with a 4 or anything like that? Like Bane puts a 4 in?
Yeah, I mean, you could add a 4 in there. Sure.
So how do you feel about the new additions? You've already been part of the previous team. So how do you feel about him coming across?
That's really good. Like when we were originally making our,
how do you control him?
you just like
he just tells me what to do, and then I do it in the game.
Like
That's how he does.
He's a loose cannon. You just gotta know. You have to say yes to something so that you can say no to a lot more. It's as simple as that.
What about Huss joining the team as well? So a big addition to the team.
Both of them were really good. You know, honestly, like I had a lot more involvement with bringing Will in than I did with Huss. Huss, it was very much Taki who wanted to bring him in.
Yeah.
For me, originally, I would have loved to bring Will in a lot earlier, but I was unsure whether he had the dedication before. But after all the work he put into solo queue and getting into the NZ team, I knew he was ready for it, and that's why we brought him on board.
All right. Excellent. We'll take a quick break here, and then Will can go take out his rowdy members outside and then go take a piss on them in the gutter. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, I'm still here with good old ZeNox, but of course we've got two lovers of the OCE community.
Lovers.
The god himself, the Lucio god, and he's probably going to make a couple of clips from today.
Oh.
I think we've got some people got some videos of you dancing.
Yeah,
You're very
I was a bit
excited.
BM. Nelly was going, Frogger, what are you doing, dude?
You know what I noticed? As soon as you stop dancing, the rest of the team stop winning.
Yeah.
Nah, that's not true.
That's not true at all. Let's just pretend it's true, dude.
We only caught him dancing once, and we told him off for it.
Why? What would you?
Yeah, it was brutal.
Because the fight wasn't over yet. The fight was on, and he's dancing on the card. And he's like, "Oh, it was a misclick."
No, it wasn't a misclick.
That's a misclick.
Definitely wasn't a misclick. I'm just like, I can't be bothered to aim at this tracer anymore. I'm just gonna dance around.
Did you win the fight though?
We did win the
Oh,
fight.
so there's no problem. And then when you stop dancing, then you lost the fight.
Yeah, look, I don't know what they're trying to get at here.
Which one were you watching?
Alright, so you guys came in third. You've taken out Lethgo, who originally almost came through undefeated until coming through today. So you've done pretty well. You almost made it to the grand final. So did you expect to get this far? And how do you feel about your team's performance?
Well, I did.
Yeah.
I expected to
You
get
said
this far.
easiest land. Is that what they're your words?
Look, with the stupid cockiness aside,
Yeah.
like we figured MasterMinds were going to be a struggle. We figured going up against them first was like going to be a big task.
Yeah.
And we weren't going to be surprised if we went down pretty easily, especially not being warm and all that.
Yeah.
But then we were really confident going into what we thought was going to be 4 legs. We figured that Atletico would be able to take out 4 legs, but
Yeah.
they didn't. We were really confident going into both those matches because we know just from scrim results and even online results in tournaments and stuff, like we versed them last week in CG,
Yeah.
and we didn't do anything like planned. So like we had a draft plan against Atletico and stuff, but
Yeah.
we just completely scrapped it online. Just said we don't want to reveal anything. We'll just play some maps.
Yeah.
And I mean, we still lost. We lost like barely on both maps. It was like a 7-second time back on Volskaya and overtime in the other map. And we were like, there was a big confidence boost being like, all right, we're playing maps that we don't even really want to play.
Yeah.
And we're almost beating them. So like, we were pretty confident coming into that map, like, into that match, like, yeah, we can win this. And then 4 legs, I don't know. We were rolling
so
from the momentum of the
close.
last one. And like,
It was the toilet break.
You had the crowd.
It was the toilet break.
You had the crowd on your side. You had Twitch on your side. Everyone.
their tac pause ruined us, dude.
The tack pause.
We were on that hype train, like getting up 2 maps, and they took a piss break, and it killed us. We went back from like being hype and screaming at each other to just mellow and like, oh yeah, boys, let's just go into this next game, and then we got binned from that point.
I think I didn't realise that I'd be screaming for a good like 8 hours today. By the time we got past the tactical, pause, I'm like, oh, I have to scream again. Oh, like if you can obviously hear right now, my voice is just croaking. Like, it's horrible.
So what's next for you boys? Where do you plan? Where does WillWeed go from here?
I'll see the World Cup, dude.
The World Cup?
Yeah,
Is that where you're going?
see the World
Do you
Cup.
think it's rigged that you guys may... unless I don't know things, because maybe...
Oh yeah, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, dude.
so-
I've already been trialed. I'm definitely going in as main tank.
Main
I don't know
tank?
if you've seen my Reinhardt, dude.
What are you going to play?
Oh, I'm playing DPS.
Yeah,
DPS Lucio.
Yeah, we're roll swapping.
Well, you're picking up frags. Remember that, a couple weeks ago when you got that quadra kill? Yeah,
He put up the YouTube video, dude.
How do you feel about MasterMinds though in the grand final?
Honestly, I thought they were going to choke after they lost that
Really?
map. Yeah, they lost that map, and then going into Nepal, they actually kind of looked weak. Like they weren't on point.
Yep.
So I was like, oh, I think they're choking here. But then they kind of just pulled it back together, and it seemed like Four Legs started to. I don't know, maybe Four Legs was playing at a really good level for the start of Nepal or something, and made it look worse. But MasterMinds brought it
Yeah,
back.
I was sitting with a lot of them, and I think that as that map went on in Nepal, everyone was sort of like whispering, like, they're gonna choke. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that Taki just like dropped.
Yeah,
He
they
got, like,
stopped coming. Yeah.
Yeah, but then when they got to Nepal, like they started rising back up again. Like
Yeah.
it was really good by them.
And they were close. They were close to losing that as well.
Yeah.
It was so back and forth, but that made it. It was exciting for the day, especially with you guys. You made it exciting. Even the crowd was like into it. That was
Got
pretty
a lot
fucking
of
sick.
support on Twitter and
So,
everything.
do you guys want to look for an org? Is that next on the cards?
Yeah, it's probably next on the cards. Getting a win over Atletico is probably really good for getting an org. Like,
Yeah.
it's a big name org, so
Yeah.
it's orgs that aren't even really looking into Overwatch or are kind of just looking over. We'll see that we beat them, and maybe that's a big thing for us.
Owner of the Legacy, now the guy from Adelaide Crows was here. You've been scouting you out,
He was
mate.
here.
You guys have already been scouted.
Scattered out already.
Yeah.
Should talk to him.
Now, the real question I want to ask you,
Yep.
did you see
You
Bobby's...
saying that's not a real question? You're denying their talent?
Let him speak.
Yeah.
Did you see Bobby's dab?
Oh,
I
I looked at ANZ General for like 1 second, and all I see is just a photo of BobbyJ just dabbing.
It was
and I'm
Bobby-
just
How would you
Bobby
rate
dabbing
that
under
dab?
I'm just like, it's better than mine.
Well, I'll give you dab lessons. You can give me dance lessons, all right?
Dance
And then
Dance
probably-
lessons?
Yeah, dance lessons.
You saw me dancing up there, just like going
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah, I said you got moves for a white boy. That's what I was saying in Twitch.
Oh my
Lucio
god.
isn't white, dude.
Oh.
He's not white. He's just not white.
But don't let him right here. You're saying that his complexion of his skin is not
Are you
white.
saying I'm Lucio in real life?
Oh god, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I want to know where you got the pink hat from. I like your style.
What is the pink hat? I don't even know what it is.
I literally, okay, so here's the story. Walked in, came up with my mum, saw the Terminator shirt. I was like, yo, that's a sick shirt. That's Termo's shirt. I took a Snapchat of it, sent it to the boys, looked to my right, and I saw the hat.
the hat.
This is a hat. I want to wear this hat. And then my mum just says to me, whatever makes you happy. I'm looking at her like, what's that meant to be?
Exactly. All you special needs.
You look at me now,
Whatever
Bob.
makes you happy, bro.
Look how far the hat's gone.
Yeah,
I got
got a lost
requests.
at land. That's what I got.
I got
Just looking third
requests.
place.
I got requests to actually take a photo of your hat because I was zooming.
Yeah,
going
I
up
saw
on
the
you.
tweet. I saw the tweet.
Yeah, and then I had people asking me like, "Where's the hat?" So I had to actually go back and take another one of the hat that's there because people were concerned. So the hat
hat
must
got
have
stolen.
towels or something.
Well, people don't like my hat, dude.
You don't have a
My
hat.
hat's sick.
Where is your
It's
hat?
a wig.
Oh, you're talking about your hair. I didn't-
I've got a hat, dude. Dude, your head
He's
is
changing your
Your head
hat.
is so small. What the fuck, dude?
Oh, you didn't realise?
I want to ask another question though, and it's about the Forlex. When you guys went up 2-0, did you legitimately think that you're gonna win? Like,
Well, I thought I was going to win coming into it. Honestly,
I think,
like,
well, when we...
but did you get that extra belief? Like, hey, we're
We
gonna.
came into Iconwald third, yeah?
Yeah.
And the first thing we said to Tails, because we haven't scrimmed with Tails that much on, we've just scrimmed our basic maps, like the ones we generally
we
always
had
aim
2
for.
nights, and
Yeah.
and
Well,
one of those nights you only played an hour.
4 hours altogether.
So
4
it
hours
was
altogether.
it wasn't much back with Tails. At
Yeah,
all.
but he was around. He was really keen to learn. Like he was so keen to come to this land. Like
Yeah.
his positivity. He was playing so good in scrims. Like as soon as we got in, everything was like perfect. But when we came into Iconworld, we know it's not one of our best maps. We struggle a bit on it. That's why we always ban it. The first thing that Macyn says to Tails is like, "Don't worry if we lose this one, because usually we do all the time." I think like how many times have we played it in like CG or ESL and stuff like that?
Probably once.
Yeah,
I mean,
once.
we do play it, but not really.
So how did it get through then?
Well, it's just because
I think it
our
was
map pools are like
really opposite. So like, if you look over the numbers, our map pools are pretty much like exact difference, and so it just leaves this weird space where it's like it's not a great map for them either. Like they've banned it a lot as well, and so there's those maps that come through that are just.
Well,
like
they got binned by MasterMinds on Iconvolt at the beginning of the day, so yeah.
I think it's just it's not a great map for either of us, but it just kind of.
They just played it definitely a lot more better. They played it like crazy good with the Pharaoh Mercy
we had
combo.
a really good first hole.
Yeah.
But then the rest of that we just
Are you gonna stick with J Doggies, or are you gonna try and convince Tails? Like, I know that's probably like weird to talk about with J Doggies not here. Like,
sorry, J Doggies, you're cut.
Like, are you gonna kick him off the team? But I'm just interested to see like where you go with your players.
So we're kind of in a weird spot at the moment where we've been talking to J Doggies and Villa, because there's this OPC thing coming up that everyone's talking about, and both those guys are underage. So we've been talking about like applying for that and everything, and when we apply for that, we have to apply without them. So we basically ran it by them both and said like, you know, if by some chance we get into this qualifier thing, like we're gonna have to play with a different lineup.
Yeah.
So it's like, with no other events coming up, it's really hard to tell. Like when there's an event and when we find out about this OPC thing, I think it'll be a lot easier to have an answer. But at the moment, it's kind of
that's the goal, like OPC.
That's the goal.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars overseas.
Yeah. But it's like, what if a couple of teams are going to get picked from Australia? It's going to be between obviously the teams that are here.
And you came third here today.
Yeah.
So,
and it's like,
and almost second.
Yeah.
And we can still improve big time. Like, even if we do have a linear lineup and stuff like that, I reckon we can go like even further. Yeah. Like, for sure.
See, that's the attitude people need, and just like sticking like with teams and stuff, all this bullshit shuffle like down.
Yeah, no, I hate.
Well,
that
I did
stuff.
speak to a lot of the. I pretty much spoke to all the teams today, and especially at the end of the night, and everyone was pretty clear that they want to stick together with their core team, especially as you said with OPC sort of tournaments coming around.
It's going to be rough for teams like Athletic.
Do you feel as if, because we always have a shuffle after a land, do you feel like the ESL shuffle sort of was the shuffle and maybe not so much after this?
Yeah, I think it's because it was so close together. I think that will be the shuffle. I think a lot of other teams are forming at the moment, and like you got Scylla making a new roster and all that sort of stuff.
What's Panda?
Panda Coordinator. That looks like a pretty good strong team. But I mean,
it's alright.
Yeah, it looks pretty good in my opinion. I like it.
Like when season 2 of this rolls back around, like you guys, if you're not overseas anywhere, so you're like a shoe-in for being already being invited back to Div 1 along with MasterMinds, Willx and Atletico. So what other teams do you expect to be playing?
Well, I think
it's a little bit hard to tell.
As of now, there's been like some people actually coming back to the scene. One person that may surprise you is actually Sirius coming back to the scene. He's trying to get a team. Dude, Saria. Yeah, he's coming back to the scene. So
he's nice.
That's pretty good.
Sirius is a player who puts a lot of dedication into improving and has got a good attitude. So that sort of mentality, I think, is very valuable to a team.
Yeah. He's got a fancy hat collection too.
He loves his hats.
I think like events like today and ESL, OPC, stuff like that gives a lot of inspiration to players that are still climbing up, like to just form a team and see where they go. Like hand-eye coordination, for example, it's just a team of friends. Like
then you got
that'll go well because it's just a friendly team. They all get along. So
there's a couple of new teams that are forming up in this new shuffle or whatever. Like you got like Mile High Club guys. There were just a bunch of high-rated guys. They sort of split up, but I think there's a couple in that group who are trying to make a new team with a couple other really high-rated players to see how it goes. Like those are the sort of teams that could do well if they put a lot of work in, because they've obviously got mechanics. They just need to get like actual coordinations.
Welcome back. Camera fucked up, so we're talking about Mile High Club, not aeroplanes, but we're talking about upcoming teams for Division 1 and then how to build Division 2 and the Open. So let's start back with what you're talking about, those teams, and you can
something about Mile High Club splitting up and new high-rated players joining together and making a high-rated team, and they have to work on mechanics. Well, no, they're good at mechanics and they have to work on synergy and stuff. I think I said something like that.
The problem I was mentioning with the scene is that we have we have a good amount of teams to have a solid Div 1, and we have really good competitive games. And then we just need to build lower down, which has been the issue. I think one thing I'm definitely going to be doing this time around is not having the Overwatch Weekly on the same day as any pro games.
Yeah, because it killed Overwatch Weekly.
Yeah, and that way that way we can make sure someone's always streaming it, because at the end of the day, if no one's there to do it, I can still stream it. and you know,
it worked for us.
I think a lot
It
of
was free money on Tuesday when we didn't have pro games.
I think-
Because no
I
one
think a lot of-
scrimmed, so I was just like,
Except when you lost the defuse.
Sorry, Bobby.
when you lost the defuse.
I was saying the God.
I think a lot of like low tier teams really like want to be streamed because they like to get exposure. It's like a big thing. Like when I came in to play for Running with Scissors in season 2, and then they told me, by the way, this is getting streamed. I was like, wait, what? Like it was a big thing for me. Even if I wasn't really bad at the game, like you know, even my parents were going nuts. They're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm just like, "I'm screaming. I'm video games, but I'm screaming in a good way."
That's what we say.
What's the bad way?
Just you don't want to go and you don't want to know.
Will's in real life stream.
I'm not toxic, I swear. But you know, I think that's one of the things. I think another thing is just you know, Blizzard itself kind of just makes Overwatch seem more like a casual game. Like, for example, if you've seen, you know, some things, like people have no idea what's like going on when they spectate some Overwatch games. It's just like Reinhardt looks like a bloody bug in one image. What was it? No, I think it was Blank versus like Detonated Gold.
Someone sent a screen cap of like, and I can understand why people don't understand Overwatch from a spectator point of view. Yeah. We were like trying to decipher this screen cap, right? It was just a bunch of chaos going through, like a guy getting shot by Winston.
Is that all the particles and shit?
There was just so much shit going on. And then there was like the circular thing on the side, and we're just like, what is happening? It took us like 5 minutes of going through, and then we realized it's a soldier planting his healing station down. So it's like here on the screen, like a Winston shooting him in the face, and I think there's like a payload behind it. And it was just like, it took us seriously like, top level players like 5 minutes to figure out what the hell was happening in this image.
And then
it's
we
like
realized,
it's not easy to decipher what's going on.
We realized we were still scrimming at that time.
Speaking of top level players though, like there's been a lot of debate that master level players almost get regarded as not good enough.
I was thinking
it's definitely a big thing. Like, but I don't know. I feel like Overwatch itself just doesn't have a system to like for people to make teams together. It's just kind of because 6 stacking is like a sin in Overwatch now. That's what people consider.
Apparently,
so no one wants to do it. Like, I think that's how people like. There should be a team-based mode for Overwatch as well. As a team game, but
they should like split queues,
like League of Legends.
Yeah, like how you have a solo / duo queue and a team queue.
Well, the thing is, there's a lot more bronze, silver, gold players than there is masters, etc. To the point where master tier players should be able to get on a team.
Yeah, I agree.
Even if it's just Division 2, even diamond players to some degree should be in like Division 2.
Comparing it like League, people should see Grandmaster as like. What's it bloody called? It's called Master, right? In LoL, and then Challenger is like top 500.
Yeah, I think Challenger is like top 200 or something.
No, I mean like in Overwatch terms, you think top 500 is Challenger and like GM is the Master rank or whatever.
Yeah.
Then like anywhere below that, like Master should be considered basically like Diamond, and then like Diamond should be considered Plat. As weird as that sounds to say, but those people are still like higher rated players. They're well above average. So I don't understand why like there's this weird thing that they seem like
when you only have one, like, because ESL is not really like a league. It's like every now and then. I guess like this CG, there's only one division, so of course you're going to take people from like Master Plus and like GMs when there's only very limited spots. So if there was more divisions opened up, then clearly it'd be a lot easier to get onto a team. But it's just all about motivating other people.
I think like I don't know about you guys, but in our little bubble of like top 4 or 5 teams or whatever, we don't really know what's happening outside, like how many teams there are. But it's kind of like comes as a surprise to me, like talking about that guy Lego Brill that's causing a lot of controversy lately.
The New Zealand
the main tank player, like I've never heard of that guy before in my life. I was talking to him. I added him on BNet like after we scrimmed the supposed MZ team, and I was having a chat with him, and like supposedly he's been in a team for like a while. Like he's been in some random team with like mid-master players and stuff, and he's been playing with them for a while. And I was like,
but if you're in a team, what are you playing in exactly?
Yeah, exactly. I had no idea. Supposedly like just scrim and stuff. I don't even know who they were. Exactly. That's like there's obviously a level somewhere where there's like other teams scrimming or something, and I just don't know where. Like I don't know who these people are, to be honest. Like that Lego kid came out of nowhere.
And he's on the World Cup team,
Yeah. Well, supposedly, I don't know if it's been announced publicly.
I think everyone knows.
Everyone knows.
Well,
I didn't sign the NDA.
Everyone definitely knows someone who didn't make it because they had a read.
Well, Oh, doesn't matter. He's just doing his service to the community. He's doing his service.
Who's doing his service?
Like Nellery is. When you're blaming a leak on Nellery just then?
No.
Oh,
no.
okay.
What?
I was saying everyone definitely knows someone who's not on the New Zealand team because they had a re. Is what I said.
Nellery. That's what I'm
No, they had a re.
I like that though. Nellery.
No, but it is Nellery, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's leaks. You can hit up Nellery for them. So. If you want to know anything.
You're the leak, dude.
It's the leaker. So before the camera fucked up, we talked about like people not wanting to pay premium because if you looked at CS:GO, all their divisions, everyone pays premium, and that pretty much
Isn't
like
there
builds.
league fees as well?
Don't
Don't they have league fees in
I have
CS?
no
I think
fucking idea.
CGPL.
I know they pay for it.
I think CGPL.
I think they have like flat fees. So I remember like when I used to play CS, every league was a flat fee. But I think now CGA is premium.
Yeah.
But I think the higher divisions are still a flat fee. I'm not 100% sure.
They're
I
all
have to
just
look it
pay
up.
for that anyway because they're pretty much
Yeah,
all got all.
pretty much, yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking. Like Overwatch Weekly will always be for free. That's the whole idea. But Div 2, you would be paying premium, and that adds to everything else here. Like the more money you spend doesn't go to anyone at CG. It actually just.
Well, what if
goes over here.
Overwatch Weekly sort of had, there's obviously there is an open ladder, right? But no one uses it. What if the Overwatch Weekly essentially had its own open ladder, pretty much its own ladder?
Yeah.
Remember the Gamester stuff? That sort of thing where you get points.
I remember ages ago people were talking about like when there was this whole thing when the CG Weekly started and a lot of the top teams wouldn't play in them because they would rather do scrims or whatever because it was like chump change or whatever. People were talking about pulling it up and having like a monthly final or whatever where it's a bigger prize pool. I was thinking something like that could work where you have weeklies that give points or whatever. Like there's a mini circuit, like it gives circuit points based off the weeklies. And then it ends in like every 2 months, every 3 months, there's a bigger final. That's $300, $400. Just like not crazy amount bigger, just a little bit bigger. That would get people to be playing more actively. I'd feel like people would want to come back week by week and say, okay, Tuesdays is our weekly nights or whatever night is our weekly nights.
And we don't have it on the same night of Div 1 and Div 2. We have it all separate.
Yeah. Plus, if you're earning points and it's sort of like a point system towards the grand prize at the end, it makes teams more committed. They'll continuously keep coming back because they have to. Like, if they want to get to the top, they have to continuously keep playing, which means they have to keep scrimming and, all that stuff.
Would you allow Div 1 teams? What do you think?
I think separate leagues would be good.
I think if there's a constant sort of like CGPL league that we've had now with this event, then if you're in that league, you can't participate.
I think it's like, whoever like the top, maybe, 4 teams, depending on how many win that ladder, probably go to Div 1 and see how they go. Like,
It's one of those things where you make it really obvious that like, said 4 teams go through the next season of CG or whatever, and the bottom 4 teams go to a relegation or whatever. Make it really obvious that these weeklies have a big say on who will go into a qualification tournament or whatever for the Div 1 or Div 2 or whatever. That'd be another big thing to push, I guess.
Any other final thoughts before we cycle the last group on and you get to go on your way?
WillWeed's the best, dude.
WillWeed's the best. You definitely got a lot of fans today. If you didn't already have a lot of fans.
We already had a lot of fans, alright? We pull in all of yours. I need like an appearance fee.
Appearance fee?
Yeah.
ZeNox has the money.
Do I have the money?
Yeah, he has the money.
Give it to me and send it.
And anything from final words, Froggo?
I don't know, just...
You plug your YouTube?
Yeah, everyone knows my YouTube.
Yeah,
Froggo IW on Twitter.
Macyn with 2 N's.
When are you going to do a stream with Loserfruit?
When she accepts my main account's friend request. She's got my Smurf, but she doesn't have my main.
What's the Smurf's name? Loserfruit. That's the one you added Cinderella on.
Yeah, I added Cinderella and he's like, oh my god. And then, everyone called on. I can't play on that account anymore before, like, I go into a game.
Just get abused, you get abused.
I come on the mic, hey guys, what's going on? Holy crap, what happened to your voice?
You sound pretty similar.
Really?
Go.
Right, I expect some more clips that you're going to make from this event up on your YouTube channel.
Definitely.
So you can check that all out. That's Lucio God himself, and that's Macyn.
The Tracer God.
Where did your girlfriend didn't show up here?
She's at home.
I was at Zen the other week, and I said, "Hey, you coming to support the boys?" She goes, "That would be weird."
Oh, dude, she's gonna talking to, dude. She's just at home. I don't know.
It's gonna be weird.
She want to spend money to come up here, I guess.
Did she send you a message after you?
She was watching all day. She was calling me after the games and stuff. Yeah, I had that good support. My dad was calling me too. Ooh.
My dad didn't like you that much. He
didn't he?
said you were talking a lot of shit about me.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Are you serious?
He said you were talking shit about the team.
The team?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was saying you guys weren't gonna win, and then you won.
Yeah, I was getting texts from my mum saying like MasterMinds seems like a shit team, and I'm like, it's like they're talking themselves way too much up on Twitter. I'm like, oh yeah,
that's alright.
They're a bad team. Don't worry, we'll beat them.
Back at Summer Series, my girlfriend actually thought Fusion Girls were a bunch of girls, and she was supporting them and was very happy when they won because she was like, oh, the girls won.
Most of the Twitch chat thought they were girls too.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Well, thank you very much.
Ashley. Wasn't it Smash Brother? The Smash Brother?
Oh, dude, Hobbs. Goddamn Hobbs, dude.
Yeah. Everyone remembers those days. Has Hobbs got any other accounts that actually, that's not a good thing to ask.
Probably.
It's
probably like 100,
we're trying to end the
honest.
podcast here and we're talking about Hobbs.
Dude, his services are now free. Why don't you pick him up as your manager?
Yeah, sick dude. We don't need a manager. We do it all ourselves, dude. I do all the drafting stuff. He organises the scrims.
Oh, I got an idea. Why don't you get Zen to pick you guys up as a...
We've actually talked about them.
Yeah.
They want a Melbourne team though.
You are from Melbourne.
I'm the only one from Melbourne. Hey, dude,
No, they
just
don't.
works at Zen.
Wait, who's she going to support? Them or you?
I mean, that's her job.
That's how you give her an ultimatum,
Her
Macyn.
job or you.
You know what? Well, now it's public information. Now they know. Dude.
They don't need to watch this. They got to watch.
They'll
Then-
see me on it and they want to watch. That's what it is. I need an
We'll
appearance
tell
fee for
them
this
you're
as
on
well,
it.
by the way.
You need appearance fee.
Yeah, for
And
this
he
as
needs
well.
an appearance
I need
fee.
two.
Yeah.
Why do you need two? Why do you
Yeah,
need two?
one for the land and one for this.
Fucking paying you for the land. You should fucking pay me for that.
Yeah.
Had to deal with all the fucking team. Wait.
Calm
I had to deal with fucking Kurt. That was the fucking payment enough to have
It's
him
a
on
family
there.
show, dude. Calm down.
It's not a fucking family show.
Cut ties with Bane, dude. Bane's dead to me.
He's always dead inside. All right, let's skip on to the next one. All right, just kidding, Kurt.
Goodbye.
Anyway. All right, skip over to the last few members. Thank you very much, boys, for coming on, and ZeNox is going to stay here, of course.
Woo.
Welcome back, and still
Still
here.
here.
ZeNox here. We got, is that Xanax?
Did you say Xanax?
Like a Xanax? Like a Xanax.
I'm a Xanax now. It's been a long day, Bobby.
It's not
okay.
even Xeno.
It's okay.
Xeno.
You got Xeno,
I like
Xenox, Xanax.
And they can,
Xanax.
what would judges like cut off name from like Overwatch? There's no one. You can't really cut off judge, can you?
That's about as good as you get. It's like a really bad drunken mumble.
Okay.
That's pretty much what you get with me.
And of course, I'm assuming everyone from the Overwatch community knows who you are.
Probably
If
not.
If they
Probably
don't,
not.
head
Probably
honcho
not.
from AGTV here, and then of course.
Well, they better know Genome.
And Genome, the most established Overwatch caster in the region.
But
Eat
esports
bread.
doesn't pay well, boys, because this is his regular diet. It's bread and cider.
That's how he keeps his slim figure.
That's it. Plenty of
Yeah.
complex
So, like,
carbs.
Just
See, like, we
100%
got the fucking-
carbs, boys.
That's
what
it.
it's all about.
We're all about
Not
zingers.
the 4 KFC buckets we had today.
No, well, he wouldn't eat a zinger burger. He'd just want the fillets.
Hey, he had a zinger burger today. Okay, give him some slack.
really?
He's conformed, finally.
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 Took 4 fucking
I was
meals.
forced.
You were forced.
He was.
Oh no, I got a
Forced-
free meal.
I'm force-fed.
Fucking victim.
I chewed it up for him and put it down his throat. Like,
He
he
was
had no
forced.
choice.
Yeah, it was just
the
like
man-
a Krispy Kreme donut, you know? They like inject the amylase in there. It's
sick.
like pre-digested for you.
Yeah, that's
Full of
right.
Fucking shit. The man that's eating Cole's fucking bakery bread.
I didn't
on
choose
it was
the
forced to eat a zinger.
I didn't choose
You
the
are
bread.
fooled.
Like, I'd be happy to have some some
You were choosing to put in
some-
your mouth. Who is
some
forcing
olive
it in your
sourdough
mouth?
business.
Oh, some
okay?
olive sourdough?
To
Would
go-
you
to
settle
go
for
with-
hell
To go with my bottle of Armagh that Bobby owes me.
Yeah, I'm getting you your bottle, but we're not drinking it with that. Like,
I mean, I'd be happy to if I get to drink the bottle. Like,
I guess so. You'd have to drink the bottle to fucking enjoy that shit.
it's the
I
trade-off
guess-
you make, though.
I
Good
guess
grog,
that's why he's-
Cole's bread.
We're gonna
That's
put
why
it in a
he's
bowl
that's
and
why
it's
he's
like
drinking
dip the
booze.
bread in it.
Oh.
It's like a fine soup. Tomato soup and Cole's bread.
You just had Harvey bread flying out of your mouth on the judge.
Thanks, Gino. That's great.
Sharing's caring.
That's right. We're loving here.
So this is your first Overwatch gig. When we say gig, what the fuck
Gig?
do we say? Do we say gig?
Can you leave? This is my podcast now.
I'll be back, boys. Take
It is
over.
my first Overwatch thing. Guys, it's been a pleasure to have you here. Actually, no, Bobby, come back.
I'm still in a lap.
Oh, Bobby, come back.
Okay, so what was your first experience like working with all of us idiots?
I regret it immensely.
Regret it.
Genome was good. ZeNox was great.
And I was fucking.
I did save you from a spider.
You did save me from a spider. There's a massive spider in my car right now, and I'm not driving home. So, but no, it was good. I loved it. I think the fan engagement was really cool. It helps when MasterMinds brings like half of the Oceanic Overwatch scene down with them. That was pretty good. But I think it was just a good time. It had a great atmosphere, and there's not much else to really say about it.
Competitive games too.
Sure. No, WillWeed actually brought it, which is something that was a highlight for me.
For the most part.
Yeah, they brought it pretty hard.
I
The
mean,
games
even
were
in the
pretty
games
strong.
Atletico lost, they were pretty fun to watch.
They were solid. And Atletico, I mean, coming off of ESL, we kind of expected, okay, cool, easy win for Atletico. It'll be Atletico and MasterMinds, and we'll see how four legs go. But I didn't feel that today either. So it was good. It was a good flip.
Now, we've been talking about the future with the last few guests from WillWeed. So, what do you want to do with Overwatch? How do you want AGTV to start getting involved?
What's that look?
I'm trying not to burp.
Oh, okay.
I can smell the cider from here.
I was like,
I don't really want to touch much,
Yeah.
is the thing, because Overwatch is doing its own thing and it's organic, and I find that's the way that esports is, because communities come together, build their little foundations, and we shouldn't be stepping on that. I just want to supplement things. I mean, at the moment, you've got, and we've discussed this, that you've got your good top teams.
Yep.
So you're looking at now building out the grassroots, because that's kind of bottomed out.
Yep.
So that's what I want to do, helping with CG. Maybe we can get ESL on side as well, helping to start getting some more weekly stuff going on for bottom tier teams, because we need inclusion. If there's no grassroots and the grassroots can't develop, then your top end stagnates anyway, and that's when you fail to see improvement coming through at pro level.
Isn't that the opposite of what was the word you used?
the bread's fucking you, mate.
he did call me Genome today.
Organic, that's the word. Isn't that the opposite of organic though? Because organic's like bottom up, right? And we're describing a top down situation.
Overwatch was bottom up though.
Which is partly because Blizzard are supporting it so much, right? And everyone expects Blizzard to support it so much, so you end up with a situation where people are expecting there to be lots of good stuff up the top, nice tournaments, eventually going into Overwatch League, etc. But it doesn't necessarily have the community groundswell which would traditionally build up to that point.
Think back to release. On release, every Tom, Dick, and Harry was putting on a community night. There was Discords and servers set up, and everyone wanted to slice the pie to have something. Immediately overnight, you had an Overwatch community. It was present, it wasn't sophisticated, it wasn't refined in any way, shape or form, but it was there. Whereas now it's built up, you've got this top, and then because of community influences, there's a lot of reasons for the short time we got, we could go into that, but it bottomed out and it dropped. And from an external point of view, you could see that. And that's why you don't have orgs, tier 1 orgs in the region, having 5 teams out of the 8 in the top 8, because it bottomed out.
It doesn't help when the Chiefs come in early and then, they...
Even Orbit GG.
Can't
an international
struggle
org
to find.
jumped on.
Who?
Orbit GG. You're Orbit?
Are they an international org?
Yeah. They're not from AU.
No.
They picked up, do you remember
Yeah, I
Team
remember the
4
team.
Down or whatever?
I've never heard of the org before, I guess.
No, they did.
no
And so
BM,
that's the
but-
thing, although it's technically in its current state, it's opposite to organic, because, there is no bottom ground, there is no grassroots.
Yeah.
It was. And so it's bottom out, so I want to fix that. And it's not something that's simple, and it's only going to happen if the community wants it to happen and helps it happen. Because the grassroots community is exactly what we want to build. If they won't have a bar of it, then it's not going to happen.
This is something we'll definitely be touching on way further, or not way further, but definitely in the future, coming up soon, because I'll have you on a podcast.
If you're lucky.
Soon. If I'm lucky. Well, I'm Irish, so I might be.
Okay.
And of course, ZeNox, is very good having you here all next to me. And Genome, I hope you're enjoying your fucking bread.
Delicious.
So, final thoughts as the camera's about to run out of fucking memory.
Thanks for having me on. I love this event. I love Overwatch, but I don't get much time in my life. And I just can't wait to see what the rest of 2017 has. So, bring it on.
Most established caster.
Look, don't just be a viewer. If you like playing Overwatch, get in there, join a team, doesn't matter what rank you are. We want to see everyone playing and being involved in any way they can.
Yep.
You quickly, mate.
I think it was just really awesome to see all the people that really came down today and supported the LAN and not only this LAN but also the ESL LAN. So the top down model is there. We've got the top teams. Let's try and build that grassroots and get a really big community going and make this the best esports it can be.
And I've had plenty of fun here today, so thank you all for supporting the podcast, supporting the community. Look forward to seeing you all very shortly and getting back to the CG Weeklies. I'll see you very soon. Take care.